how do you ensure that the people that you have out working in the field and the people that you have in the PM position understand what it's like to be an in-house landman and the pressure that comes in that position? How do you train people? How do you get that understanding into their heads of what is really important, what matters to the in-house client?
Yeah, that's huge. And I think healthy conversation, healthy working relationships are key to a manager's development. And that communication, regular meetings, standardized protocols for when you meet, how you communicate with your team, your field team, are huge in that aspect. If as a PM, if I understand and know my client's perspective and what he's having to go through and what his needs are, it makes it much easier for me to communicate that to my team. And the more informed we all are, and the sense of urgency that we can all act with, the more urgency we can all act with, and understanding, what his perspective is better. It's a lot of times, unfortunately, that comes with time. You got to get an opportunity as a crew chief to be able to work under a good project manager that can help inform you and educate you. And then as a good project manager, you need to be able to work with a number of different in-house landmen and a number of different scenarios and projects to be able to do that. I'd say the longer you do this and the longer you work for a given shop, the better you can get at those things. The more informed you can become, the different types of jobs that you can take little bits and pieces from. I think, one of the things that we do, and I know other shops do this as well, is, we have regular best practices, meetings where we're taking our better landmen, our better crew chiefs, our project managers from all over the company, and we're talking about, hey, I just did this type of job. This is something new and different that we did. This is how we handle this situation. And you can get better based off of other people's experience. And so within the organization, if you're being very deliberate about having those learning sessions amongst yourselves to try to identify the best practices, if you're doing those things, that's just going to make everyone better, make you more efficient, and help you identify, frankly, the field landmen who want to get better, who want to learn, who want to be a part of your team. That's as equally as important as, anything. If you can have those people buy in and be a part of the group and want to help, man, your retention stays. You're not dealing with a bunch of people just chasing the day rate. You're dealing with people that want to be a part of your organization and value the exposure that they get and opportunities they get to learn more about, what William's job is and what makes his job tick and his organization tick.
I think the ultimate confirmation for a broker is that they're doing things right and they're training people correctly, is to bring somebody in that's young, keep them for a few years, show them the ropes, and they get poached by one of your clients, which, Brent I don't think you'll disagree with it, but you hate losing good people. But yeah, when you lose a good person to a client or somebody that's not a client, and, you still have that relationship, and it's maybe a new relationship with a new company, that's new business.
Yep.
Right? Because you're going to be his first call when he gets a project.
Yeah.
Right?
If you weren't an a-hole.
Yeah.
If you weren't an a-hole.
But I think it's a compliment to your brokerage service if you have a guy that gets poached, because you're doing things right.
Yeah.
And not everybody can be in-house, and not everybody can be in the field their whole career. There's some guys who really need to be in the field. And so I think that it might sting a little bit, but ultimately I think it's a compliment that people think enough of the way that you train people to hire your guys or poach your guys and bring them in-house.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it is once you go home and cry for a few hours and can ponder upon how in the hell am I going to survive this?
Yeah.
You kind of get over it and you're happy.
That's great. Yeah, that team is so that part of your team is so critical in having people that have the right mindset, that are ready to continue learning always, that pay attention to details, that don't assume and always ask questions. Those are huge.